Good morning, you guys. Today is Monday, 18th May 2020. Let's see the unit number 8 is art. Okay? Unit 8 art. Unit 8 art. Adjective is point number 1. Use the foreign language as a medium for other idiots and throw with confidence and effectiveness towards people from other culture. Point number 2 adjective is use the foreign language to organize thought and speech, critical analysis, and solve problems as well as participate in various exchange and contribution of their own and of their country. Let's see expected learning. Expected learning is I can use the past passive to talk about art. Repeat, I can use the past passive to talk about art. This is the unit A, art, okay? Past passive, voice, affirmative, and negative. This is the grammar focus. Grammar focus is past passive, voice, affirmative, and negative, okay? Let's see the past passive voice, okay? Use of passive. Use of passive is passive voice is used when the focus is on the action. It is not important or not no. However, who or what is performing the action. Let me repeat again the point number 1. Point number 1 is passive voice is used when the focus is on the action. It is not important or not no. However, who or what is performing the action. Look at the example. The example is my bike was stolen. The example is my bike was stolen. Point number 2. In the example about, the focus is on the fact that my bike was stolen. I don't know, however, who did it. Okay, look at the point number 2. The sample about, the focus is on the fact that my bike was stolen. Do not know, however, who did. Point number 3. Sometimes a statement in passive is more polite than active voice, as the following example showed. Repeat the point number 3. Sometimes a statement in passive is more polite than active voice, as the following example showed. Look at the example. A mistake was made. Example, repeat, a mistake was made. In this case, a focus of the fact that a mistake was made, but I do not blame anyone. Okay? Repeat, this case, I focus on the fact that mistake was made, but do not elbow anyone. Look at right here. You have made a mistake. Okay? This is the examples and use of passive. Next. Form of passive. Form of passive is subject finding form of to be plus past participle, third column of irregular verb. Repeat the form of passive. Form of passive is subject, finite form of to be, past participle, third column, irregular verb. Let's see the example. The example is a letter was written. Repeat, a letter was written. This is the example. When rewriting active sense in passive voice, note the following. Repeat. When rewrite active sense in passive voice, note the following. Look right there. The object of the active sense becomes the subject of the passive sense. Repeat. The object of the active sense became the subject of passive sense. Next, the finite form of the verb is changed to be plus past participle. Repeat. The finite form of the verb is changed to be plus past participle. Next, the subject of the active sense becomes the object of the passive sense or is dropped. Okay, look at right there. The subject of the active sense became the object of the passive sense or dropped. This is the form of passive. Okay. Next, use a passive voice in simple past. Okay, use a passive voice in simple past. As you remember, we use the simple past to express an action that happened once or repeatedly in the past. Repeat. You remember we use the simple past to express an action that happened once or repeatedly in the past. Look at the example. My friend invited me to a party. Repeat the example. My friend invited me to a party. Active voice. What is the active voice? Look right here. If you think the adjunct, the one performing the action, okay? If you think the adjunct is more important than the object of the verb, okay? The one receive the action. Maybe because you want to make someone responsible for something. Then the adjunct became the subject of the sense. This is called active voice. Look at right here, you guys. The ones performing the action is more important the object of the verb. And the one receive the action is maybe because you want to make someone responsible for something. Then the I become the subject of the sense. This is called active voice. Look at the example. The active voice is the children broke the window. The children broke the window. This is the active voice. Okay? And how to use the passive voice in simple past. Okay? Passive voice, but if you think the object of the verb, the one receiving the action, is more important than the adjunct, the one performing the action, then the object becomes the subject of the sense. This is the called passive voice. This is the passive voice. The passive voice is the object of verb. The one receiving the action is more important, and the one performing the action, the object becomes the subject of the sense. This is called passive voice. And look at the example. The window was broken. This is the passive voice. The window was broken. Okay? Next. Form affirmative. The form affirmative es, como en español, la voz pasiva se forma con el verbo to be. En español, to be es ser. y el participio pasado. Con la siguiente estructura o form affirmative, subject plus I am, is, are, was, were, has, been, etc. Participio pasado o past participle plus the rest of the phrase, el resto de la frase. Look right here, the example. They made this car in 1963 active and 1963 passive. Okay? They made this car in 1963. This is active, passive. Right here, this car was made in 1963 passive. El sujeto de un verbo en pasiva corresponde al objeto de un verbo en activa. ¿Cuál sería? Argentinas speak Spanish, activa. Subjeto, object, ¿sí? Argentinas speak Spanish. Active, object. This is the form affirmative, okay? The form affirmative is subject, I am, is, are, was, were, has been, etc. Past participle and the rest the phrase. Oh, this is the form affirmative. En for negative es para formar la negativa debemos negar el verbo to be, en español ser, con la siguiente estructura. The form negative is subject, I am not, isn't, aren't, wasn't, weren't, hasn't, been, etc. And past participle plus the rest the phrase. En Spanish, el sujeto, sí, yo, él no está, él no están, o en tiempo en pasado, ¿sí? Y enseguida el pasado, participio y el resto de la frase. Veamos aquí los ejemplos. Look at the example. This car was made in 1963. This car was made in 1963. And negative, this car was not made in 1963. This is the positive and negative. And right here is, podemos realizarla en forma completa o en forma contraída, siendo esta última la más común. ¿Ok? Esta es la más común, o the was or wasn't. ¿Ok? This is the form negative. An example of passive. Example of passive is tense, subject, verb, and object. Simple present, simple past, present perfect, and future one. Simple present is active and passive. Simple past, active and passive. And present perfect, active and passive. And future, active and passive. What is the subject? Rita, a letter, Rita, a later, Rita, later, and this is the subject. What is the verb? The verb is grade, is grading. This is the active, grade. Passive is later. Active, growth. Passive was grading. Active has grading. Passive has been grading. Inactive will grade, and passive will be graded. And this is the object, a letter. Rita graded a letter. See? A letter is graded by Rita. Rita wrote a letter. A letter was graded by Rita. Rita was grading a letter. A letter has been graded by Rita. Rita will grade a letter. A letter will be graded by Rita. This is the active passive, an example of passive, okay? And this is the tense and subject, a verb, and object. Okay, the present again is Rita is writing a letter. A letter is began writing by Rita. Subject Rita was writing a letter. A letter was began writing by Rita. Rita had written a letter. A letter had been written by Rita. Rita will have written a letter. A letter will have been written by Rita. Rita will write a letter. A letter will be written by Rita. And Rita will have written a letter. A letter will have been written by Rita. Okay? This is the tense and present progressive, past progressive, past perfect, future 2, conditional 1, and conditional 2. This is the active, passive, okay? And subject, verbs, and object, okay? This is the finished class. Thank you, you guys. See you tomorrow.